you had an amazing playing career. And you, as you just said, you were on one of the most iconic, historic, world-changing teams. And then you've gone on to this next amazing, world-changing job that I think Tobin called it the cherry on top, which is funny. But I was wondering, you were around these strong, powerful, badass women, which is sort of like what we're obsessed with on this show, right? Is being around unapologetic women and then like finding your own authenticity. What do you think it was about you that led you to be the first woman U.S. soccer president? Because you think like any of those 99ers, but you actually were the one who decided to take this cherry on top next job to actually transform our game.
Yeah, I think I was the idiot that said yes. Quite honestly. I mean, it's so crazy to how I got to this position. I kind of call myself the accidental president because this was you. I call myself that because it's like this was not in any 5-10 year plan of mine. So what happened is the VP spot at U.S. Soccer had opened up because the VP ran for president and won. And so they were holding a special election for vice president. And I thought it was really important for an athlete to be in that position. And so I was trying to get an athlete to run, not me. I was trying to get another athlete to run. And I had a couple on the hook for a little while that were like, yeah, that sounds really interesting. But both said no. And so I went to the chair of the Athletes Council. For those of you that don't know, that's the athlete representatives for our NGB, which U.S. Soccer is. And I went to them and I went to the chair. His name's Chris Aarons. And I was like, okay, everyone's dropped out. It's either going to be you or me. Will you do it? And he's like, he tells me, no, my wife will divorce me if I do this. And I'm like, seriously? I have to do this? And so, I mean, I had just had my kid. Like, this was not in the plan. And so fast forward. And so I had to run 2 years in a row for vice president. So I went back to the Athletes Council again. And I was like, okay, have you guys gotten organized? Who's your candidate? Not organized. So I have to run again. And so I'm like, the next election is for a 4-year term. And I'm like, no, like you guys have got to figure this out. And they're like, yeah. Give us the year. We'll figure it out. 2 weeks later, the president resigns, as you guys all know, due to the very offensive legal filing that U.S. Soccer filed. And I became president. Like in a
Hello.
Yeah. So I went from being at 4 meetings a year for the board to 24/7 all day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was not planned. And Grant Wall, God rest his soul, he wrote a great article about the 99ers and how I would be the last person he would pick on that team to be president of U.S. Soccer. No, it's great because it's so true because I was so quiet and reserved and I wasn't a leader on the team. I was just a player. I had Mia Hamm, Carla Overbeck, Julie Foudy. Like they didn't need me to lead. I was like the little kid on the team. And so I thought his article was so spot on because I don't think anyone could have predicted it. But like, as I look back over my career, my childhood, I look at little pieces that came together and all the lessons I learned. I mean, if I hadn't been on that 99er team, learning from Carla Overbeck and Julie Foudy and Mia Hamm and Christine Lilly, and the list goes on, I would have never been in the position to, when it was my turn to lead and people were looking to me to lead, to be able to do it.
This is so cool. So, Tobin, you know what this reminds me of? You know the show The Reluctant Traveler? Do you know that show?
No.
It's a great show. It's like a little travel, like around the world,
like,
great hotels.
Before you go to sleep.
Feel good TV, that's what we're into. And The Reluctant President.
The Reluctant President. I love it.
Okay, but you did decide to stay.
I did.
So,
wow.
So you were, even when you were VP, when you became the president, you had an exit strategy.
I did. I was trying to get someone else to do it.
And then you became the president.
Yes.
So then how did you go from the reluctant vice president to choosing to be or to rerun or get reelected?
Yeah, so the way it works, because the president resigned, so I was president until the next annual general meeting. And then there was going to be an election for the last year of his term.
Yep.
And so the board came to me and was like, look, we need stability in this time. You're doing a good job. Will you run again? And I had full support of my entire board to do it again. And so I was like, okay.
Oh my God, the reluctant president. He kept going.
It keeps going. But it also felt really good to have that support of the board when I have a representative board. So we have adult members, we have youth members, our at-large member, our professionals, and our athletes and our independents. And so everyone's coming to the board focused on their own organizations and their own goals. So it was really cool that they came together and wanted me to continue. And so I did it for the next year. And so I had a decision to make because the next election was for a 4-year term. And there were still a lot of things I hadn't done that I wanted to do. One was the women's national team litigation. I wanted to resolve that. I wanted to resolve equal pay. It's a funny story. I thought becoming president, I was like, I am going to solve this equal pay because I believe in it. I've been fighting for it for 2 decades. I am going to do this. And I thought it would be like so easy. But it took 2 years being president to actually get it across the line. And that was for many reasons. Some of you guys already know. But I decided to run again because I really do think it's important to have an athlete's voice in the room when decisions are being made about our game. I think it's important to have a woman's voice in the room. Now, I'm not saying it has to be the president's voice, but I do think that's important to have. And I'm so proud of our athletes now. We're running an election right now, and I think there's 6 athletes running for a board seat.
It's incredible.
Which before we had to beg athletes to participate on the board. But it's been a good journey. I still have a lot I want to do. I'm running for re-election next year as well. Woo! So
that's incredible.
So finally, this election, you're not going to be the reluctant president.
No.
This might be your first one where you're fully like, I'm just doing this because I'm good at it and I want to.
The first 2 years as president were probably 2 of the hardest years of my life.
Yeah.
And now I'm to the point, and the organization is to the point where I'm actually doing the fun stuff of what I actually wanted to do and impact our game in a positive way. And I'm finally getting to do those things. I'm building a national training center. I say I have not done a single.
I like that. You keep saying I.
No, I did not build a
national training center on your own back.
Yes, I'm like hammering every nail. I put the steel beams in. It is all me. I've done it all.
Finally, we got it out of her.
I don't deserve opposable thumbs, so not true. But it and doing those things, and then we have World Cup 26 and the legacy of World Cup 26, and we're working, and we just started Soccer Forward Foundation at U.S. Soccer. So really working. I mean, my dream is the legacy of 26 is that every kid can walk, ride their bike, or take public transportation to a safe place to play our game.
Wow.
Because right now we know that is not the case.
Wow.
That's beautiful. I mean, I'm literally sitting in this chair because of what soccer has done for me and the people I've met through the game. And I want that for every kid.
Yeah. Same. I mean, when I hear Cindy speak, we're kind of obsessed with this idea of people as vessels. And Cindy for sure is a vessel. Her saying, I wasn't the person that was supposed to be chosen for this. It's no, that's why you were chosen. It's synchro destiny, for you to have this job.